My name is Stacy Brewer. I teach 5th grade at Stevenson Elementary in Bellevue, Washington. My class has a lot of English as a second language learners in it. 8 of my students are officially ELL students, but 16 of them speak another language other than English at home. Today I'm going to have my kids talk about the text that they read, a difficult text that we read about Lewis and Clark. I wanted them to start by talking in a small group to sort of get their ideas started, and then we were going to meet in a whole group discussion to share those ideas and those thinking, all in preparation for a writing assignment. Was there any evidence that we had that told us how long it took them to get back?
It says, to the explorers, a 6-month return journey, so that means it probably took 6 months.
Finally, they came there on March 23rd, 1806. Then on September 23rd, 1806, the Lewis and Clark expedition arrived safely back in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay. So did that surprise you that it took less time to get back?
But it also says where their journey had begun more than 2 years earlier.
Oh, you just answered your question. You don't need me. So after we do the small group brainstorm, I ask them to come prepared for Text Talk Time. And Text Talk Time is a discussion structure that I created in order to give the kids an opportunity to talk about a text that we had been reading during the week. It's an opportunity for them to call the shots and to discuss what they were thinking when they read the text. And it's also an opportunity for me to ask questions that challenge them and that I'll later expect them to respond to in writing. How does the author feel about Lewis and Clark? Who thinks they found some evidence to back up what they think about how the author feels about Lewis and Clark? Let's go to Alyssa.
It says on page 644, from St. Louis, Lewis and Clark traveled to Washington, D.C., and almost every town they passed through, they brought bands to welcome them as heroes, which meant that, like, whenever they came in, everyone's, like, cheering and, like, congratulate them. And so, like, the author, like, put that in to make everyone feel that they're heroes.
Yeah. The next question was, what is the author's viewpoint about exploring? And I provided them with the sentence frame to start their answer. The author thinks exploring is...
I think it's exciting because you could find out new stuff about different things you never knew about.
In the next part of my class, I transition them into writing by asking them to respond in writing to the comprehension questions about author's viewpoint that we just talked about in Text Talk Time. I give all my students the same task, and most of the students work individually on this assignment, while I pull a smaller group who needs more support from me. But even with the small group, the assignment is the same. Let's get started. Will you, before we start answering the questions, will you guys remind me what viewpoint is?
It's like something you
It's like
when you see it in your mind, like what you think.
What you think and what you're seeing, so from your point of view?
Yeah. It's like your opinion, not someone else's.
So I'm hearing a lot of you,
It's your thinking.
Is it always just you, though?
No.
The small group that I was working with today are all English language learners, so I knew when I started the group that I wanted to give them more opportunities to speak. But what's one good starting sentence that we could come up with? Jesus, I haven't heard from you yet.
Something that I would do was like, I think the author thinks that Lewis and Clark are brave.
They're like brave, and nothing stops them. They're
like if nothing stops you, it's like determined. Like you keep
positive.
going and summing up in one word. Mm-hmm. So while I was working with the small group, the rest of the class was expected to respond to those questions independently in writing. Today I focused on a couple of different standards. The speaking and listening standard on engaging in a variety of collaborative discussions and coming prepared for discussion. The informational reading standard about quoting accurately from a text. And then the writing standard about drawing evidence from a text to support your thinking.